Hey guys, thank you for watching the Slat Rock channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified every time we post a new video. And if you've already done so, just make sure that it's still active. Here's your news for September 17, 2019. We're starting off with some interesting news from Raw today, as though wrestling legend Kane is a former WWE World Heavyweight, Intercontinental, and Tag Team Champion. This week, the Demon showed his softer side. Appearing as his normal self, Glenn Jacobs, the Knox County mayor appeared in a pre-taped segment with R-Truth, giving the rapping superstar a tour of the University of Tennessee's football stadium. When Jacobs brought in a police officer who was later revealed to be a referee, Truth realized what was coming, and though he tried to escape, ran face first into the field goal post. Knocking himself out, Truth was easy picking for Jacobs, who became the new 24/7 champion, though his reign was short-lived. After hitching a ride on top of Jacobs' limo, Truth was able to surprise the mayor with a roll-up to regain the belt. Though Jacobs was tempted to give him a chokeslam, Truth convinced him to let him go. This wasn't Kane's only appearance of the night though, as the former 24/7 champion later appeared in his demon persona, but that didn't go well either. On Raw, Universal Champion Seth Rollins revealed he will face Bray Wyatt inside Hell in a Cell next month after The Fiend attacked him at Clash of Champions. In response, Wyatt called Rollins his future best friend, and though the former world champion said he was glad Seth was okay, Ramblin' Rabbit told him to run. Wyatt said how though friends forgive, they never forget, and was spotted later on in the night hanging pictures of all he's attacked, claiming it was time to find more friends. Despite these mind games, Rollins was able to hold his own against Robert Roode in the main event, and would have had the match won before Dolph Ziggler got involved. Not only Ziggler, the OC also joined the beatdown on the Universal Champion, though it was Kane, the demon side of Jacobs, who made the save. Despite the Big Red Machine's best efforts though, this was when The Fiend showed up, as Wyatt attacked Kane with the Mandible Claw, ending the show with a stare-down with Rollins to the tune of the Firefly Funhouse. It'll certainly be interesting to see what Rollins will be able to do inside Hell in a Cell next month, as though he's beaten plenty of huge stars in the past, none are quite like The Fiend. It wasn't all demons and monsters on this week's Raw though, but there was baby fever in the air too, as the Street Profits hosted a gender reveal party for the upcoming child of Mike and Maria Kanellis. During the party though, things quickly turned sour when Maria revealed that Mike wasn't the father of the child, but it was actually former US champion Ricochet. In a scene straight from Jerry Springer, Kanellis challenged the high flyer to a match, which Ricochet won with ease. This wasn't the end for Mike's bad night, as he would later suffer a beatdown from the man Maria claims is the actual father, Rusev. Returning to WWE after several months away, commentary quickly noticed that Lana wasn't with him, as we can't help but wonder what she'd think of this. Though Mike said he didn't want another match and was fine with Rusev being the daddy, this didn't stop him, as the Bulgarian Brute destroyed him in the ring and had a match that lasted about 10 seconds. His first appearance on WWE TV in quite some time, Rusev was definitely in better shape than before, but was also rocking his new mustache. After Raw, Rusev took a moment to speak to WWE's cameras, but didn't reveal much, saying, a lot of questions going on, and at this point in time I'm not ready to answer them, and that's that. The last time fans saw Rusev in a major match was back at WrestleMania 35, though the former US champion did return at Super Showdown in the 50-man Battle Royal. It'll be interesting to see where WWE go from here, as it seems things can't get much worse for poor Mike Kanellis. This week's edition of Raw also saw the culmination of the King of the Ring, and after a huge 16-man tournament, the new king is Baron Corbin. Corbin defeated Chad Gable this week to capture the crown in the latest accolade of the Lone Wolf's career, which includes stints as US champion, the Andre the Giant Battle Royal winner, and Mr. Money in the Bank. Facing a former US Olympian, this win did not come easy for Corbin, as when Gable locked in the ankle lock, it seemed fans would see the coronation of King Charles. Getting to the ropes, Corbin barely escaped the move and was able to hit the end of days to capture the throne, with WWE announcing that King Corbin's coronation will take place tonight on SmackDown Live. On his route to the crown, Corbin defeated The Miz, Cedric Alexander, Samoa Joe, and Ricochet to reach the finals, while Gable defeated Shelton Benjamin, Andrade, and Shane McMahon, the latter of whom filled in for the injured Elias. Corbin is the company's first king in 4 years, after Wade Barrett defeated Neville in the finals in 2015. But this reign did very little for his career, and fans can only hope that the new king gets treated better in the coming months. Vince McMahon has an old saying that nothing can go wrong if it's live, and though that may be a good message about adapting to mistakes and performers overcoming issues, this week's production crew should really pay attention. During the 3-hour show this week, fans were given a rundown of what matches would be coming up, though every image shown was flipped upside down. The problem got so bad that Renee Young had to point it out on commentary, as it seems the company should spend more time working on its production. Some fans have speculated that this flip was deliberate and caused by the demonic presence of the Fiend Bray Wyatt, though that's yet to be confirmed. 2 superstars who appeared the right way up this week, though, were the Authors of Pain, who spoke at a backstage segment on the show for the first time in months. During Raw, AOP were in a dark room and spoke about how they couldn't fight anyone in MMA because all the other fighters were afraid. The former Raw Tag Team Champions claimed this was the reason why the pair hadn't competed since before WrestleMania, though that isn't quite the truth. The real reason the pair hasn't been seen is because Akam has been out with a leg injury, and though he was cleared the return in May, the company made the wise choice not to bring them back until they had something planned. With that in mind, it's likely the former champions could be in line for a huge push, though there's no word if this push will include their manager Drake Maverick, whose quest for the 24/7 title has consumed his life. We're looking ahead to Hell in a Cell now, as the company confirmed that the Man will face the Boss inside the steel structure. One night after Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks ended in an odd DQ finish, the champion and challenger crossed paths again, as after Banks and Bayley defeated Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, the Blueprint looked to inflict more damage. After grabbing a steel chair, Banks' assault was interrupted by Becky Lynch, who was assisted by her old foe Charlotte Flair. Post-match, Banks would challenge the Man to a rematch for the Raw Women's Championship, and during the commercial break, Lynch would accept the challenge. This will be the second ever Women's Hell in a Cell match, with the first taking place 3 years ago between Banks and Flair. The Queen survived the cell that night, so Banks will be hoping history doesn't repeat itself on October 6th. We've got an interesting statistic now. As though Braun Strowman didn't become Universal Champion at Clash of Champions, it's something the monster among men should be used to. The WrestleVotes Twitter recently mentioned that Strowman's latest match marked the 6th time in just 2 years that the Colossal Star has come up short. Strowman's first Universal title match happened at SummerSlam 2017, and since then, Braun has lost at No Mercy 2017, the 2018 Royal Rumble and Hell in a Cell pay-per-views, Crown Jewel last November, and now Clash of Champions. Though Strowman had a rough time this past Sunday, his fellow Wyatt family member Luke Harper had a great night, returning to the company after months away. Harper, who hadn't been seen since April, requested his release many months ago, and though fans speculated about the former Intercontinental Champion going to AEW, it seems he's here to stay. At Clash of Champions, Harper returned to assist Eric Rowan in his no disqualification match against Roman Reigns, and this return came as a shock to both the fans and the superstars. A report by the PW Insider claims that Harper wasn't listed backstage to avoid the wrestlers knowing of his return. The report said, Harper was not listed on the format sheet for the show and was hidden until just before the Reigns vs. Rowan bout. No one saw him backstage until just before his return. We're told the idea to bring him back was pitched late last week. After splitting from the Wyatt family, Harper and Rowan would have success on SmackDown as the Bludgeon Brothers, and it seems the pair are back together. Shortly after Clash of Champions, WWE officially changed Harper's name back to Luke Harper after Rowan got his first name back a few weeks ago. Harper getting his first name back isn't the only major change on WWE.com though, as the profile of Kevin Owens has been moved to the alumni section. Owens, who was fired by Shane McMahon last week on SmackDown Live, is expected to return to the company very soon. And though it's clear this is all a storyline, it's interesting to see that the company is taking it seriously. At Clash of Champions, Corey Graves mentioned Owens being gone from the company, though there has been speculation that the former Universal Champion will go back to NXT when the show launches on the USA Network this week. Back to Monday Night Raw, as not only did the company's flagship show receive high praise, but they did it without some huge names backstage. Pro Wrestling Sheet reports that Vince McMahon, Kevin Dunn, and Triple H were all absent this week, leaving Paul Heyman to run the show from his executive director role. It's not clear why McMahon or Dunn were missing, but Triple H has been preparing for NXT's move to USA later this week and is currently in Orlando. It was reported that Michael Mansouri, WWE's Vice President of Global Television, filled in for Dunn, though we're not sure whether he and McMahon will be at SmackDown Live tonight in Atlanta, Georgia. And finally, we're closing with some news from the Raw Women's title match from Clash of Champions, as not only did Sasha Banks fail in her quest to become a 5-time champion, but she was also manhandled by fans. During the match, The Boss and Becky Lynch fought all over the arena before eventually returning to the ringside area, though when the man threw Banks over the barricade, one fan at ringside appears to grab Banks' butt. A clearly inappropriate act by the fan, the picture and GIFs of the event quickly went viral, and Banks commented on the incident on Instagram and didn't mince her words. In the comments, Banks simply said, "I'm suing." And even if this is a joke by the former women's tag team champion, it's certainly something the Boss should consider. We want to emphasize that it is never, ever right to touch a wrestler, or anyone else for that matter, in a way they don't want to be touched. And this isn't the only incident like this that's happened this year. In June, Scarlett Bordeaux was groped by a fan during a AAA show, and it wasn't appropriate then either. Time will tell what actions Banks will take if she's able to track the fan down, as suing the so-called fan would be a lesson to fans to keep their hands to themselves. Guys, before you drop off, I'm sure you'd be interested to know these shocking revelations by WWE wrestlers after they left WWE. Well guys, that's our news for today. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Also check out our other high-rated videos by clicking at the upper right-hand corner or down in the description field. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and the bell icon so you don't miss a single new video. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and as always, thank you for watching.